Good morning. Welcome to the forum. My name is Barbara Bynum, and I'm one of the forum coordinators along with Kathy Keevers and Judy Ann Files and Phoebe Benzinger. And we always usually tell you that, but I'll say today also, I'm also the mayor of the city of Montrose. And I only mention that today because I was last mayor, because we rotate, we take turns every year, in 2020. And there were not a lot of events going on in the summer of 2020. And I was really bummed. I was on a lot of meetings online about emergency resources and how many cots could we set up and how would we treat people who were really sick. And it's so much more fun to be mayor when you get to talk about concerts and farmers markets and economic activity downtown. So I put together this program because I'm so excited on a personal level that this summer seems really normal and exciting, and there's some really cool things going on in our community. So this morning we have a combination of the county talking about some of their summer events and how they plan those, the city talking about not only the city's events, but how you can find out on the city calendar about other events. Then we have Kendra Gallegos Moro. Gosh, you have been married for a while. And she is a downtown business owner. And she's going to talk a little bit about how businesses come together to plan events for all of us. And then lastly, the perennial favorite of the summer, at least one of mine, Dave Bowman with the Montrose Summer Music Series is here to talk about his big event. So let's give all of them a warm round of a welcome, applause, and we're going to start with the county. Mrs. Stone Field, who is the coordinator of the Montrose Event Center and Fairgrounds.
Good morning, folks. Thanks for showing up. Most of you I've seen about every time I've come up here to give my spiel, so appreciate you still sticking with me and coming back. Last year was a tremendous year for us out at the Event Center and the Fairgrounds. We had an unprecedented number of events that this year we've actually just added to. And I'd spoken last time on some direct impacts that we've had at those events. I'm very proud to tell you that the number of equine events has gone up again significantly. I had one of my largest events go from 3 to 4 this year. Others gone from 2 to 3, and so that means my team's doing their job bringing people back, and they love Montrose. I hear nothing but accolades about how friendly the people are and the businesses. So we're super excited to be that liaison, to bring those events here and then let them be a part of our community. I brought Chad Dunlap here. You guys are used to hearing me so much that I wanted to make sure and show you that Chad's the president of the Fair Board. And he just came on in September. He was on the Fair Board last year, but was voted in as president of the Fair Board. Barbara had spoken. She didn't really want me to just give a list of all the things that we got going on, which is pretty extensive anyway. We take up 20 minutes just doing that. What I wanted to do is pass this over and let Chad give you an idea from his perspective. You guys hear from me as the venue manager and what it takes to set up fair. I'd like Chad to come on and be able to give you an idea of sort of where the vision is from this new Fair Board. They actually had a complete changeover last year. Only had, 4 months to plan a fair last year with an entirely brand new group, and I thought they did a tremendous job, and this year they're well ahead of schedule and have some really tremendous things that are going to happen. And the attitude, in my years of being in my position, the attitude and self-starters that are on this group is unprecedented. And so I'm super excited to see where these guys are going to take that. We've had a number of volunteers step up. So the fair this year is in a place that it hasn't been in my entire tenure with the fairgrounds. So if you have any questions at the end, I can answer those, but otherwise I'm just going to pass this over to Chad. Thank you.
Thanks, Tony. As Tony said, my name's Chad Dunlap. I'm the president of the Montrose County Fair Board. I hope I don't lull you to sleep. I tend to talk a little bit monotone, so.
Just hold the mic closer to your mouth, though. There you go.
No sleeping, I'll call you out. Anyway, as Tony alluded to, in January of 2022, the Board of County Commissioners seated a new Fair Board. With that, I was one of the ones chosen, obviously. The purpose of the Fair Board is to plan, coordinate, and financially account for everything related to the fair. I can tell you when I sat in on that first meeting, because we had such a short time frame between last January and July, it seemed like a very daunting task to be able to pull off the fair. But the way we do that, we have several committees composed of Fair Board members as well as volunteers. So everything related to the fair is grouped in to certain committees, and we just all get together and brainstorm ideas, and before you know it, fair rolls around, and it still felt daunting, but strangely enough, it just kind of happens, and it's pretty satisfying watching the kids walk in there and seeing the contributions that those kids make towards our community. This year, the fair is July 21st through 29th. There's also Community Night, which is Tuesday. I think that's July 25th, if I'm not mistaken. So spread the word, get out there and come see us. As a board, I guess our vision was to, although the Montrose County Fair is very agricultural based, our vision was to make it more community based, obviously with an emphasis on the agriculture and the youth. So with our vision and having more of a sense of community, our goal as a fair board was to kind of make an event where maybe there's a little bit there for everybody, where it's not just there to come see animals and tractors and, you know, displays of corn in Friendship Hall. There's a lot to the fair, and there's a lot of contributions the kids and exhibitors make to the community in one fashion or another, and that's kind of been our focus, is to just highlight those things and get people in the doors and fill Friendship Hall and attend our events. So with that, that's about all I have, unless anybody has questions.
You know, I think we'll do questions for everybody at the end.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just jump in there real quick.
So I put him on the spot, obviously. Last night at the Fair Board meeting said, Chad, guess what? We're going to go to the forum tomorrow. One of the things that you guys will see here is the livestock auction. These are the buyers from 2022. $630,000 is what the sale was last year. That was a record by well over $125,000. In 2021, they did $500,000 at that sale, and we thought that we had pretty much reached the pinnacle. And last year, contributors came in. They did the add-ons. For those of you that aren't familiar with an add-on, that is where you're not necessarily purchasing an animal from a child, but you're setting a dollar amount and adding that to the child's proceeds. So out of that $630,000, a little over $450,000 of it was actual sale animals, and the rest was add-ons. So that's folks that are coming down and adding anywhere from $50 or $100 up to thousands of dollars per child across the board. So the sale itself, unbelievable. The amount of buyers had increased almost 30% that showed up last year. We always look forward to that, but I wanted to make sure, Chad, that you knew. For my years, when I first started here, if it reached $300,000, and that's over about 150 animals, we were really happy and thought we were in high cotton. And obviously, the communities brought in much more support. The kids' animals, the quality of these animals has increased. I hear people year in and year out saying, well, the whole time I'm waiting to buy an animal then, because they know that it was raised right, that it was treated right, that they don't have the chemicals in the system. So they're not only helping the kids, but they're also buying quality meat. The real odd thing was during, and Barbara mentioned it, but during the COVID year, people couldn't get meat. So they came down and decided, hey, it's much easier for me to buy a steer or a pig or a sheep, whatever that they were preferring meat, and buy it during that year because they knew that the processors would have committed and contracted with the fair board to take those animals in right away, because a lot of the farmers that were out there were waiting months to even get dates to have their animals processed. So it sort of set the tone that if you wanted fresh meat and were able to get it processed, that coming down to the junior livestock sale was a real boon to what you were trying to accomplish. Once again, Chad, I appreciate what you've done and your group. Community night this year is going to be a little different than we've had in the past. We're going to have a live band there. Neon Sky is going to be there. We're going to bring the little kids pedal tractor pull, which is a huge event at the fair. We're going to move that outside to the grandstand so we can accommodate more folks to watch that. There's a number of local community groups that have committed to come down for that community night, so that's on that Tuesday night. Friday night is a standalone bull riding, and Saturday is the CPRA rodeo. And for folks, I'm super appreciative because our fans for the rodeo and bull riding have increased every year to the point where we are literally at capacity. I've had to personally turn a couple hundred people away at the gate because we were at a place where we couldn't fit any more folks in, which resulted in now we have people showing up at 4:30 in the afternoon to make sure that they got a seat. But you're more than welcome out there. We've done some adjustments to where we can probably handle another 500 people for both of or each of those events. We've moved some bleachers and stuff around. So the fair board has been awarded almost 4 years in a row. That we had a tie one year, but for one of the highest levels of the CPRA, which is the Colorado Pro Rodeo Association, their best rodeos in the state. So we also, through that, have garnered the ability to have the Colorado Pro Rodeo Association state finals here in Montrose. That happens in October, and that is all resultant of the hard work that these guys do to put on a great show during the fair. So once again, thank you very much for your time, and we'll hand this back over to Barbara.
Thank you so much, and I think we will do questions for everyone at the end so we get through all of our presenters. Next up, we have the City of Montrose. Who's going first? Katie Shore. She is the director of the pavilion, the amphitheater, and events for the City of Montrose, and she's going to tell you what's going on this summer in that regard.
So we plug that in this place. Okay.
Hi everybody, my name, as Barbara Bynum had said, my name is Katie Schwar. I am the Pavilion and Community Events Manager. So my job is to plan all the city-sponsored events here. As she's pulling up the flyer, I'll just kind of list some of the few. Just recently, we just had our Montrose Mudder, which was at Cerise Park. It is a mud run obstacle. And we had, at the end, we had an award ceremony with concert and everything like that. So that was a really fun, awesome event. We had a really good turnout for the mud run. I think we had almost 200 participants, where last year we had about 160. So great turnout. I'm going to speak about the 4th of July. So 4th of July will be on Tuesday of this year. Some of the things that we're going to be doing is we'll be doing a pancake breakfast, our staple, the parade, fun at the park, which will be at Cerise, and then we'll have a concert to follow. Some of the things I want to highlight about the 4th of July or just any of these city events, is we cannot do it without our community members, our partners, our volunteers. Just because the city puts these on, it takes a village. And so I appreciate all the partners that I have made over the last year and a half of being in this role. So for example, for the pancake breakfast, we're partnering with Welcome Home Alliance, who will be hosting the pancake breakfast at their facility. For the parade, which I want to give a huge shout out to the county fairgrounds. In years past, we've always staged kind of on the roads and things like that. And the last couple of years, the county fairgrounds has allowed us to do the staging at their fairgrounds, and it has helped so tremendously. We have been able to stage all of our parades, all of our participants there. I know it helps the police department a ton. It makes our volunteers and myself happy to have everybody in one area. The parade is on Main Street, as I'm sure all of you know. And then Fun at the Park. Fun at the Park is going to be at Cerise Park. There will be a concert. Well, first there will be kids' activities with the food village. We'll have beer garden that will also be hosted by the Welcome Home Alliance. And then we'll have a concert from the Montrose Community Band to open, and then to end, we'll have the Brown Family Band perform. And then at dusk, we'll have fireworks. Something I'm really excited about to mention about the fireworks is it's all going to be an electronic show, meaning that instead of it being handheld and there being gaps, it's all just going to be continuously. There's not going to be any pauses. So it's going to be just a beautiful show. So I'm really excited to see that. Some ways that you guys can get involved. You can see my contact information down there. We're always looking for volunteer opportunities. There's also some sponsorship opportunities. If you want to have a booth at any of these things, please reach out to me. Like I said, to make this event happen, it takes a village. So anybody that wants to help and participate, we greatly appreciate it. So the next one is going to be FUNC Fest. Let's see here.
The FUNC Fest file?
Yes. So if you go back into the marketing.
Okay, go back. Okay,
It
I'll
should be
find it.
FUNC Fest. Yeah. So FUNC Fest is just to highlight there. With COVID, we kind of, prior to COVID, it used to be a 2-day event. And year before last, 2021, we brought it back. It was more of just kind of a celebration. And then last year, we brought it back again, and it was just a 1-day event. However, it was, we brought back the water competition that had been done in prior years. So it was a huge success. We kind of took a different approach. We really wanted it to be geared for not just pros, but anybody that wanted to just compete. So the organizer that we hired for that really encompassed that, and we had a really good turnout, better than prior years from us having it. So FUNC Fest will be a 2-day event again this year. It will be at the River Bottom Water Sports Park. So it will be August 12th, which is Saturday, and then August 13th, which is Sunday. August 12th is our big day. We will have food garden, beer garden. We'll have lots of kids activities. We'll have some local performers there at River Bottom Park, and then we'll also have our competitions going on as well. And then at the end, we're going to keep the celebration going, and we're going to head over to the amphitheater where we'll have a live performance from a cover band, a Prince cover band, which I know there's a lot of people that are excited about that. They've come in prior years, so they're going to come back again. So I'm super excited. Again, we'll kind of just continue the fun. We'll do some awards. We'll have again some more food trucks, beer garden. So it's going to be a really fun event. The next day, we're going to still continue the fun. It won't be an all-day thing like Saturday will be, but it will all be at River Bottom Park. We'll have some performers, food trucks, vendors, as well as continue some of the water competitions. So we're really excited. I apologize. I think there was just a little bit of a glitch of loading the. It's all good. It's all good. loading the FUNC Fest flyer, but we do have some flyers that we can pass out. Again, like I said, this event does not happen without our community members and our sponsorships, and so if you guys are interested in getting involved, please reach out to me. Like I said, we'll go around and pass out some information, but yeah, we're really, really excited about these events. I do want to bring up Michelle Wingfield, our DART coordinator. She is going to display how you guys can get your community events on the event calendar. Something that I want to notate is that a lot of community members have come to me and said, we need a master calendar. We need a master calendar. Well, we have one. So it's on our Visit Montrose page. And like I said, Michelle's going to show you guys how to load events. And you can also see what events are, events that are going on. But please, please know that we do have the tool. We just need you guys to get the word around and tell, anybody that's planning an event to utilize this tool. I think the more we can get it out, I think the better we can rely on this. I know that there's some events that will not be able to get on the calendar, but the idea is that this is our master calendar. So please, please utilize it. So I'm going to hand it over to Michelle.
Hello, my name is Michelle Wingfield. As Katie said, I coordinate the development and revitalization teams of DART for the city of Montrose. And part of what DART is, has anybody heard of DART here? Okay, cool. That's good. So part of what DART does is the Main Street program. So we have a focus on the downtown area. That's just a fraction of what we do, but that is a focus. And so I did want to say while I'm here, if you or anyone you know is interested in coordinating an event downtown, I would be really interested in speaking with you about that and helping support that and maybe connect you with some other people that might have similar ideas. For example, we had an event recently that was interested in coordinating kind of a flea market over the summer. They're still kind of working out the quirks on that. But I was able to connect them with some resources for their alcohol licensing to do some partnerships. So I find a lot of satisfaction in that, and it's really exciting for me to be able to kind of connect you all and try to bring some vibrancy downtown. So please reach out if you are interested in coordinating anything whatsoever. That being said, that is kind of what our event calendar is all about. You are all welcome to go on there and submit your own events. We'll sometimes submit events for the community as well, but there are so many amazing things going on all the time, every weekend in Montrose. So help us keep on top of it. And if you know of an event going on, you're welcome to reach out to me directly. I've got some cards here, but my name is Michelle Wingfield. You should be able to find me on the website. And we can get it loaded. But yeah, so if you were to just Google, the way I find it is I Google City of Montrose events, and then it's going to be one of the first things that you can click on. Yeah. There you go. And then very quickly, so you'll see just listed by date all the different events that people have submitted. But then also this top button here, click to submit your event. So it's very easy. It only takes, it takes less than 2 minutes really. You just list your name. You don't even have to be the coordinator of the event. You can submit it for other people too. Maybe check with them first, but yeah, you just go through. You'll add a photo, location. There's going to be auto-populated host organizations and locations in there that you can choose from. Makes it a little bit easier, but yeah, I would say it takes less than 2 minutes, and it's a really great way to have one single source for a spot to go to find information about what's going on this weekend. So, so like I said, please reach out to me if you are interested in coordinating any events, especially as it relates downtown. I'd be happy to help. We might be able to sponsor via DART. So yeah, please reach out and maybe we can work together.
It looks like Forum is on that event calendar twice. That's probably because Kathy and I both were so excited to submit it and really want people to know about Forum. So we could probably work with the city and get that cleaned up so there's just one Forum every Wednesday. Thank you very much. Our next speaker is Kendra Morrow. She is a very energetic woman who has been at the heart of so many cool things that have happened in Montrose. She's the owner of Canyon Creek Bed and Breakfast. If you've been around Montrose for a while, I think she will never not be known as the woman who started and ran Main in Motion for so many years. And she's going to tell us today about her newest venture and something that she and some other business owners put together. So let's give Kendra a warm welcome.
Thank you, Mayor Bonham. I do need to make a correction. I did not start Main in Motion.
You carried it.
But yeah, that would be maybe Dave Bowman and a couple other people before I moved back home. But it was an amazing program. So the way this kind of started, I'm going to tell you just kind of the way downtown works, because there are so many people moving into Montrose. I also sell real estate, and so many times I hear, "Oh, I've never been downtown yet. We've lived here for a year." That breaks my heart. I do not want to hear that again. So, we had a long winter, and downtown businesses were like, "Hey, let's get together. Let's start having conversations here." So, a local downtown business put out a postcard to every business downtown and said, "Hey, let's have coffee and see what we can do to get people back down here." So we met up. There were 3 businesses that showed up, and we sat there and said, "What can we do to bring people back?" And I kind of came up with an idea. Right now, everything is social media. So the program that we put together is a passport. The idea is we want you to go in on Thursdays to the businesses that are participating. There are 40 businesses participating. You can find their logos in the passport. If that doesn't work, there's also a list of by block who is participating. So you can also just look up and start at the beginning of downtown and whip around. And what we're asking is people go in on Thursday, you make a purchase, and you're going to get a stamp. The whole goal is to fill your passport for the summer. And so the businesses that you go into will have this poster, hopefully, on their door. And if you have a smartphone, you can go to the QR code, and that will bring you to, again, all the businesses that are participating. So if you go in on Thursday to any business that's participating and it's their business hours, you make a purchase, they're going to give you a stamp. You're going to take a picture or tell them you want to join the drawing, and then we're going to know, okay, let's put these names into a basket, and the next Friday we do a drawing, and it's going to be something from any of those participating businesses. So last week, Amazing Glaze had a $100 party that they donated. San Juan Brews did a basket full of all kinds of stuff. The goal is, once you have it totally full at the end of summer, we're going to have a huge staycation where you can stay at the bed and breakfast. You're going to have drinks at the speakeasy. You're going to go have a tour at Storm King. So it's just going to be a whole great event. But fill your passports, get them stamped, support these local businesses, and show them what Montrose is about. Thanks.
And before I introduce Mr. Bowman, I've learned not to follow him. His energy level and enthusiasm is greater than even than mine. I'm just going to put a plug in that what Kendra and those businesses were able to do is so indicative of so many of our small, locally owned, entrepreneurial business owners. And you'll find, if you start listening, and especially on social media, that San Juan Brews has scheduled their business location with events almost 7 days a week. And Mob is a store on Main Street that has numerous events going on. And the Montrose Center for the Arts has numerous events going on, including their First Friday. So there's a lot going on, and when I hear people say, oh, there's nothing going on, I'm kind of wondering, where are they getting their information? Because there's so many business owners that are working hard to provide things to do. There's our city and county government that are working hard to provide things to do. I think you just have to figure out where to get that information and how to stay plugged in. And for better or for worse, these days, I think so much of that is on social media. So as I look around the room, I think, gosh, maybe some of you might be missing out because you're not really using social media. You figured, oh, I don't really know about that, or I don't need to know about that. But I would encourage you to ask a tech-savvy friend to show you around, maybe just Facebook if you're not going to do all of them, to find out some events in our community. So, before we get to questions and answers, last but not least, Mr. Dave Bowman is going to talk about the Montrose Summer Music Series, and if he could include, in addition to this summer, when it started and how it comes together, that would be fantastic as well. Let's give Dave a big round of applause.
Good morning. Back in 2002, I owned a music store called Blue Sky Music. And one day, Luann Terrell called me up and said, hey, Decorm, Diana Corm, and FUNC want us all to meet and see if we can start doing something in Montrose to liven up the summer. And that was made in motion. 2015, I got together with a group of people. We formed a nonprofit, a 501c3, called the Montrose Summer Music Series. And it's called that because we Googled probably 50 other combinations and they were already taken. You have no idea how many Montroses there are in the world. Usually if you Google Montrose, you'll end up in Ireland. So we came up with a name and we've been going ever since. And I saw in the blurb that I was going to tell you the secret to booking great bands. And the secret really is our community. The mission of the Montrose Summer Music Series is to build community through live music. This year we have 30 sponsors. We started probably with about a dozen back in 2015, and now we're up to 30. We're building community. People like what we do. We work really hard to bring a variety of music. In any given summer, you're going to have a country band. You're going to have a blues band. You're going to have a band with horns. You're going to have a band with a female singer. We are very focused on making sure that we bring lots of different music to Montrose and that it's all encompassing. So this year, I'll show you the big poster. Our first show is June 2nd with a gentleman named Chancey Williams. Chancey just recently went into the Grand Ole Opry. He's a cowboy out of Wyoming. One of the interesting things about Chancey is there are two men who rode bulls and performed on the main stage at Frontier Days in Cheyenne, Wyoming. And that was Chris Ledoux and Chancey Williams. So this guy's a real cowboy. So if you want some good rockin' Chris Ledoux kind of music, if you're familiar with Chris, this is your show. And if you don't come see him for free, you can go over to Gunnison on July 4th. There's a fundraiser there for breast cancer awareness, and the ticket's $45 for Chancey. So we think we're giving you a real good break by having him here for free. Our show July 7th, we're really excited about this. This young man is Eric Stuckey. Eric Stuckey graduated from Montrose High School. He currently lives in Nashville. He's a singer, songwriter, opened up for Jim Messina, who's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame last Friday night. The week before that, he was touring the UK with David Starr. Our kids get a great education in Montrose. I'm a former teacher. They get a great education and they can go anywhere in the world. Playing with him will be A.J. Fullerton, also a Montrose High School graduate, and was in my wife's 3rd grade class. So we've known AJ a long time. AJ's a blues man. He lives in Memphis now. I asked these two guys if they couldn't put a band together, especially for the 4th of July period, and they said they would love to come home and play the amphitheater. So we're really, really excited about that. August 4th, we have a band called Bywater Call, 7-piece band, female lead singer, they got horns, they got keys, a great slide guitar player, and they're from Toronto, Canada. So I've worked with Canadian musicians before in Montrose, but this is the first time we can say we're international at the amphitheater this year. And then for the final show, September 1st, it's time to get Donnie and Glenn, D&G Railroad. Donnie Morales, I assume many of you know who he is. He really is the heart and soul of Montrose music. He's been in Montrose since mid-90s, and he performs all over the place. He does lots of charity gigs, and it's going to be a fun, fun night. And every show we do, we start with a local band. Neon Sky will be playing, the June show. Let me get my cheat sheet here. Huck Experience is July, Dave's Fault is August, and Jedi George is September 1st. And some other things that will be going on at the Montrose Summer Music Series. There's a young man, Jack Flower, who's working on his Eagle Scout Award. Jack and his troupe will be at the June show, helping to educate the crowd about what we can recycle at a concert, what we can't. And Jack wanted to do something around recycling, and he chose his event to happen at the Montrose Summer Music Series. Dalby Wendland and Company, company that's been around for 75 years. They're an accounting company. They're located in Oxbow. They are in 3 cities, Glenwood Springs, Grand Junction, and Montrose, and they're doing a special event in each city. They've chosen the Montrose Summer Music Series as the place to hold their event in August. So we're really proud of the fact that not only do we have a lot of sponsors, we have a lot of people come out. We average 1,500 to 2,000 people at our shows, but the community has embraced us as a place to do things and to gather. We almost always have a high school reunion at some point at our shows. We're just here to make Montrose a better place. Thanks. One other thing, Will Woody has joined our board and is our social media guy, and he's doing a fantastic job, and we're really using social media even more, so I echo what Barb said. And I know what color our hair is, but Facebook really is the place you're going to find out about things going on in Montrose. There's nothing like free advertising. Thanks.
You know, there's so many fun events going on. I want to sit here and just tell you about all of them, but when it comes to big concerts, I feel like it'd be remiss if we didn't give a shout out to the Bridges, who will be hosting Night Ranger in concert on Friday, June 16th. And that is a ticketed event, and you can find out more, guess where? On Facebook. Let's open it up now to questions. I'm so excited to start going to stuff. I'm so appreciative of these organizations that work hard to bring fun things to our community. What more do you all want to know about what's going on this summer, or some of the work that goes into planning events? You all are like, we're good, we're just excited to start going to stuff.
At the beginning, you mentioned there's a long list of things going on at the event center, but it's too many to go through. Could you go through a little bit of it and let us know what else is going on?
Yeah, and I think, Stoney, that was you talking about your event center being booked up this summer and what kind of things are happening there.
Thank you for the question. The majority of what we have going on from this point clear through October are equine type events. So we have everything from cutting horses to 2-week barrel racing, which is coming up. So So just a real quick one, we have a 100 jumper, which is the first, they had one event with us last year. I don't know if you're familiar with English riding and 100 jumpers. Those are a lot of ones that you actually see in the Olympics or some of the Rolex Cups. So it's a discipline that we're working through with the Fair Board. Actually has part of 4-H has that discipline within their competitions. But they'll be here this weekend. This is the second time that they've been here this calendar year. They had one event last year and decided they wanted to try and do 3 this year. So we're super excited about having them. We have the Western Slope Reining Horse Association next weekend. Then we go into 2 weekends of barrel racing, and this, folks, they're going to have probably 370 horses on my grounds. So you multiply that times the folks, and they're literally coming from Florida, some from Canada. They're coming from all over to come to this competition. The first weekend is, and excuse me for the terminology because you may not be familiar with it, but it's a classic, meaning that these horses are 3 years or older, or 4 years or older, and they've already had some competitions under their belt. The second weekend is called a futurity, and that's the breakout for the younger colts. And what that does is not only sets a precedence for those folks to be able to sell those horses to go into professional competition, but it also has the bloodlines that folks would be interested in as far as going back and having their animals bred to them. So we have 2 straight weekends, and as I said, I'm literally taking panels and putting them up everywhere that I have room to store a horse, because our standard stalls is only 196, and so I've got to find 200 more spots to put horses. After that, we move into the national team roping. Then we go into a cutting horse event, which is going to be here for their second time this year. They were here 3 times last year before this year, and they're looking to book between 6 and 8 with us next year. And I hate to take up a bunch of time. You had mentioned all of these that I just mentioned to you are not only open to the public, but they're free of charge. So come down and you're going to be able to see different disciplines. As examples, you're going to see some of the best in each of those disciplines. As far as the cutting horse, Barb had said, can you tell folks a little bit about what it takes? What it takes for my team is we take a roller packer, the same one you see out there pushing down the asphalt, making it flat. We flatten the dirt inside of the indoor arena. Then we bring in 5 inches of pure sand to cover that. We put up their turn back pins and all of their needs inside of that. They'll be here for 5 days minimum. I mean, their shows aren't just a weekend. They're usually coming in and start to compete on a Tuesday and go through to Sunday. As soon as that's over, we have to extract all of that sand, then tear that dirt back up to have equine footing. Normally that happens on a Monday, and I have another group of horse folks coming in on a Wednesday. So my whole summer from now until literally the 1st of November, those are the type of turnovers that we have to do on those grounds, let alone, obviously, all the trash and the things that happen from the folks that we're tearing down and putting up stuff. I have a tremendous team. They've been with me since I've been here, and I have nothing but accolades for those folks, because it is a tremendous amount of work to go from each of these different disciplines, because their dirt needs are different each and every time. A team roping group will have a different desire for their dirt than a reining horse, than a cutting horse. The barrel racers is a little bit deeper. So a ton of equine events. If you go on to MontroseCountyEventCenter.com, we have a full calendar of our events in not only calendar format, but lined out per day. So you can keep up with that. Then fair comes in for almost 2 weeks for us, and that encompasses all of the open show things, our horse show, dog show, and the sale will all happen over at the event center. So I hope that answered some of your question. Okay.
I have a follow-up, okay, for these to me, and then one for Katie.
How do these people find you, or do you find them? How do you book all of this stuff?
So starting in 2018, we opened up the event center late April of 2018, and at that time we were on the phone. We were knocking on doors. We were finding events that we felt like were going to be real conducive to what we had going on in a tremendous building. Folks, as Montrose residents, that building is unprecedented within about a 500-mile radius for the things that we accomplish from from not only my team, but the way that the footing is dirt, for those of you, the way that the footing is. And so for the first probably 18 to 24 months, we were reaching out and telling people, give us a chance. Today, we don't call anybody. They're literally, it's word of mouth, it's events who have said, hey, we heard you had this group there, I competed there, we heard from, and so our phones, literally, we're turning folks away. And that is something that is based on just the performance of what we have as a facility, the town. I mean, honestly, you guys, as a community, as welcoming as you are, the folks that come here have nothing but good to say about Montrose. They love, I mean, it's pretty hard to not look at the San Juans and already fall in love, right, if you're from Minnesota or somewhere else. So that helps us, but actually as a community, that's probably one of the driving factors besides our facility. So we're super proud to have the facility. The city does such a great job of helping the businesses stay in touch with what's going on. But to answer your question, we don't call anybody anymore. And I know that sounds braggadocio, but the fact is we're getting requests constantly, and our calendar is full. The only time we really have some gaps, and that is for us to repair some things and put stuff back together, is around that January and maybe the first or second week of February. But beyond that, we have events practically every single weekend.
Awesome. Same question for Dave. Dave, how do you have to do a lot of searching?
I listen to a lot of music. I work with talent agencies from New York to LA and everywhere in between. And when I hear or see a band that I get excited about, or a talent agency says, hey, we just signed this group, Bywater Call is a good example. Bywater Call has toured Europe, they toured Canada, they just started touring America last December. They formed right before the pandemic, so they didn't get much of a start. I got an email about them, checked them out, and within a week we had them booked, because you're really going to enjoy that. One other thing I want to mention, if you like this shirt, Clear Networks printed up about 500 of them. They're one of our big sponsors this year, and they will be giving them away free at each show this summer. So if you come out and see a band, we do have food carts, we have beverages, we got free t-shirts.
Will they have a fiddling contest at the county fair?
That is a very specific question. Fiddling contest.
Yeah, we're not having the fiddle contest this year. There are lots of things going on community night that I think will garner people's interest. So, typically those things were not very well attended. So, again, we're trying to appeal to a large audience and get as many people in there by offering a variety of things. Come on down and give it a shot.
That being said, if you would like to have a fiddling contest in the Pocket Park, feel free to contact me and maybe we can coordinate something. If you want to help, it'd be really cool.
We're always looking for ideas for little things downtown. Okay, more questions?
One of the things that will be at the county fair that hasn't been mentioned is that the Montrose Center for the Arts is having a competition, an art competition, that will be on view for you to see or to enter. And the way to enter is probably to get their website, go to their website. It's not up yet. The timing isn't up yet for the competition.
But the Montrose Center for the Arts has a great new website. It's easy to use, a new logo. It's really exciting.
Right. We're also having another murder mystery dinner, and it'll be in October, early October.
Perfect.
It will be really fun.
Thank you. 2 microphones at once. It's like my dream.
Talk to us more about the Pocket Park. Where it is, what type of events go on there, because I have a feeling a lot of these people don't even know where it is.
Yeah, thanks. So the Pocket Park is directly across the street from City Hall. There's a big pine tree in front of it with a mural. And we are interested in kind of reactivating that space, getting events going again. There used to be Acoustic Tuesdays going on in there, and we're kind of working with some people. It's not official yet, but we've got some things coming towards the end of the summer, a little bit more artsy style. And a pocket park in general tends to be a park that is in a downtown space, maybe off of Main Street, that's kind of like an alley, and you take that space and just beautify it a little bit, and then host small events, maybe have some picnic tables, that sort of thing. So that term in general is used to describe small, cute alleys.
That's a great description of a pocket park. Okay, coming back to the back row.
Thank you so much. I could come up and do that. So, actually, as a little, like a fun fact, if you ever want to know, because I've been in Montrose a long time, that pocket park used to be where Delta Montrose Electric offices were years ago, 2-story. Came out of college with a double lead, my husband, and we went in there and went, what the heck is this? So it's just, that's interesting to know, just so you can know that. Kendra, you told us, and I think it bears repeating, where does one pick up a passport, and do they have to only pick it up on a Thursday night? I know you only get the stamps on Thursdays, and is that like at 5 o'clock on, or is it all day Thursday?
It happens all day, and I mean, it could be anybody from getting your hair done, so you have to make a purchase to actually get one. So if you go into one of these stores that has the
barcode.
Yes, then you could say, hey, can I get my passport? Or I don't know if all the stores are just offering them, or if you have to make the purchase and ask for them. But if they have this poster, pretty much you can get a passport. If you even say, hey, I want to start that program, just let them know and they'll start you off.
Okay, thank you.
Just a little clarification. You said across from City Hall. There are people who don't know that you've moved. So, are you,
Yeah. So across from the new City Hall location on Main Street in what was formerly the big white Wells Fargo building. Yeah. If you haven't seen it, come check us out. Michelle's office has a window. Not everyone does. Okay. Any other questions? We're getting almost close to time. One more.
I'd like to ask about the volume of these events. The music sometimes is so loud that I don't even want to get close to it. I live 2.5 miles south of town, and when I can understand the lyrics at my house, I know that it's an event that I do not want to go to. And there's a lot of people that wear hearing aids and whatnot. It's very uncomfortable. And if you want to reach me on social media, good luck.
Well, I'm going to take one more question so we end on a more positive note than that. So someone think of something.
I want to know more about the honky tonk.
The honky tonk, yeah, that showed up on the calendar. Is that a private event that people have? Is that because I know you book like for profit. Like if I wanted to try and make money, I could book the event center and bring in my own band and sell tickets, right? So is that what's going on? What's that honky tonk thing?
So Ray Blanchard, for any of you that know Ray, who owns Double Barrel Taco, he's been wanting to do something for a while. And so what he did was actually came in and is going to rent the, we call it room number 4 for lack of better terms. It's the banquet hall when you come into the event center on the left-hand side. There is a fee. Literally, we just put this up about 14 days ago. So we didn't have a whole lot of information coming into it. I do know that there will be alcohol served there. It's going to be a DJ, and our last conversation is we want to have a place where people can go and dance, and so he's really just testing the waters for this and seeing what potentially in the future to look like for maybe a once a month or something to that effect. So currently, this is his test subject to see how that works and if we can expand outside of that room to potentially go into some of the bigger space that we have. it's something that he wanted to be, he's kind of wanted to try and create that. For those of you who've been in Montrose, there used to be a couple of dance halls in this town, and so he's gotten a lot of feedback from folks and hoping that this can be the start of something to potentially move into like a monthly or something like that. He's really, it's just an opportunity to see what the temperature is for folks. So yeah, come on down and dance your little heart away.
Fantastic. What a great example of an event being hosted at a county facility, but being put on by someone with an entrepreneurial spirit, seeing a need in town to have an event. So with that, let's give all of our presenters a big round of applause.